Hello, our Lives channel. Today we will learn about the shocking developments unfolding in Salem on Thursday, October 9th, as the Horton family celebrates an incredible milestone while devastating family secrets threaten to tear Chad DiMera's world apart. Jennifer's remarkable 40-year journey. Thursday's episode marks an extraordinary celebration as Salem honors Jennifer Rose Horton Devereaux's incredible 40-year presence in the beloved town. The Horton house becomes the epicenter of heartwarming nostalgia as Jack Devereaux and the ever-gracious Julie Williams gather to reminisce about Jennifer's tumultuous, passionate, and unforgettable journey through the decades. Julie, always the perfect hostess, prepares celebratory donuts for the occasion, adding sweetness to an already emotional day filled with laughter, tears, and precious memories. The celebration takes viewers on a remarkable journey through time, beginning with Jennifer's dramatic arrival in Salem as a frightened, rebellious teenager running away from home. She initially sought refuge with her older brother Mike Horton, who would later become Jeremy's father, but fate had different plans for the young runaway. Instead, Jennifer found herself welcomed into the loving arms of her grandparents, the legendary Alice and Tom Horton, whose wisdom and unconditional love provided the foundation she desperately needed. This decision proved to be absolutely pivotal, shaping the woman Jennifer would ultimately become and setting her on a path filled with romance, heartbreak, resilience, and redemption. As Jack and Jennifer cuddle together with their grandchildren, surrounded by old family photographs including treasured images of Alice and Tom, the magnitude of Jennifer's impact on Salem becomes undeniably clear. Her story intertwines with nearly every major family in town, creating a legacy that spans generations and continues to influence current storylines in profound and unexpected ways. Jennifer's epic love story. Jennifer's romantic history reads like the most captivating novel ever written, filled with passion, betrayal, loss, and ultimately, enduring love. While she experienced relationships with Glenn and the charming Frankie Brady during her younger years, it was her connection with Jack Devereaux that truly defined her heart and soul. Their love story defied every obstacle imaginable, surviving Jack's multiple presumed deaths, dangerous adventures across the globe, and countless separations that would have destroyed lesser relationships. During the painful periods when Jack was believed to be dead, Jennifer found herself involved with the dangerous Lawrence Alamain and the mysterious Peter Blake, relationships born from grief and loneliness rather than genuine passion. Yet through every twist and turn, every heartbreak and reunion, Jack remained Jennifer's one true love, the man who understood her completely and loved her unconditionally despite his own complicated past. Together, they created a beautiful family, bringing two incredible children into the world, the beloved Abigail and their son J.J. Devereaux, both of whom have carried on the Horton Devereaux legacy in their own remarkable ways. The journey has been nothing short of extraordinary, filled with moments of pure joy and devastating tragedy that have tested Jennifer's strength repeatedly. From Abigail's shocking murder to J.J.'s struggles with addiction and his current crisis of confidence, Jennifer has weathered storms that would break most people. Yet she continues to stand strong as the matriarch of her family. JJ's devastating crisis of confidence. While the Horton house fills with celebration, JJ Devereaux faces his own personal nightmare that threatens to derail his entire career and sense of identity. The young detective finds himself consumed by guilt and self-doubt following his confrontation with Theo Carver during Salem's recent citywide blackout, an incident that has reopened old wounds neither man has fully healed from. During the blackout, JJ encountered Theo in Horton Town Square after the mayor had implemented a strict curfew to prevent looting and chaos. When JJ called out for Theo to stop, the encounter triggered traumatic memories for both men, transporting them back to that horrific night years ago when JJ accidentally shot Theo in a case of mistaken identity that nearly cost Theo his life. Theo panicked upon hearing JJ's voice in the darkness, his body freezing as painful flashbacks overwhelmed him. The confrontation escalated when Theo accused JJ of seeing a black man in a precarious situation and immediately jumping to dangerous conclusions, highlighting the racial dynamics that made the original shooting even more tragic. Theo expressed his absolute disbelief that JJ thought it was acceptable to return to policing after shooting him, revealing they hadn't spoken since last Christmas and that JJ never consulted him before rejoining the police force. The raw emotion and unresolved trauma between them created a devastating moment that left JJ questioning everything he thought he had overcome. Now, Detective Jada Hunter asks JJ to recount every detail of his actions during the blackout, hoping to help him process the traumatic encounter. Despite Jada's reassurances that he did absolutely nothing wrong by enforcing the curfew and following proper protocol, JJ cannot shake the overwhelming guilt that consumes him. His confidence as a police officer has been completely shattered, leaving him wondering if he truly belongs on the force, or if his past mistakes will forever haunt him. The situation becomes even more complicated when JJ receives comfort from his father Jack at the Horton house, admitting his deep uncertainty about remaining in law enforcement. The emotional weight of feeling like he might never escape his past mistakes threatens to crush JJ completely, and insiders suggest he may be considering resigning from the Salem Police Department entirely, unable to reconcile his actions with his conscience. Thomas unleashes his fury on Chad. Meanwhile, across town, Chad DiMera faces his own family catastrophe as his young son Thomas processes the devastating revelation about his father's relationship with Kat Green. Thomas discovered the truth in the worst possible way when Rachel Black, always quick to spread gossip, revealed that Chad has been secretly dating Kat, the woman who committed the unforgivable act of impersonating Thomas's late mother Abigail. Thomas feels completely betrayed on multiple levels that cut him to his core. First, his father lied to him about the nature of his relationship with Kat when Thomas had specifically asked about it weeks earlier. Chad's excuse that he needed to be sure of his feelings before being honest with his son rings hollow to Thomas, who sees it as just another adult breaking his trust. But the deeper wound comes from the knowledge that Kat pretended to be his deceased mother, manipulating the entire family's grief and making them believe Abigail might still be alive. The situation is far too much for a fifth grader to process or understand. How could his father forgive someone who committed such a cruel deception? How could Chad develop romantic feelings for the woman who caused them all so much additional pain during their darkest hour? These questions torment Thomas as he confronts his father with an anger and hurt that surprises even Chad. Chad had carefully planned to go public with his relationship with Kat, believing enough time had passed and that his family would eventually understand that Kat was a victim of her own brother Mark's manipulation. He and Kat had discussed telling their families together, presenting a united front and explaining the complicated circumstances that led to Kat's involvement in the fake Abigail scheme. But Rachel's big mouth destroyed those plans, forcing Chad to explain everything to Thomas before he was ready, in the worst possible circumstances. When Thomas blurts out the news about Chad dating Kat Green to Jack and Jennifer during their celebration, the atmosphere in the Horton house shifts dramatically from joyful nostalgia to tense confrontation. Chad quickly takes his son aside for a private conversation, noticing that Thomas claims he still doesn't feel well, using illness as a shield against the emotional pain he's experiencing. Thomas makes his bold demand. During their private conversation, Thomas summons his courage and makes an incredibly bold request of his father that will change everything. The young boy, feeling powerless in a situation where adults keep making decisions that affect his life without his input, decides to take a stand. Insiders suggest Thomas may demand that Chad stop seeing Kat altogether, at least until Thomas feels comfortable with the relationship, essentially asking his father to choose between his son's emotional well-being and his romantic happiness. This impossible position forces Chad to face the brutal truth that while he has every right to move forward with his life and find love again, his children's needs must remain his absolute first priority. The weight of this realization crushes Chad as he understands that rushing into a public relationship with Kat, regardless of his genuine feelings for her, may be causing more harm than good to his already traumatized children. Chad finds himself torn between two people he cares deeply about, knowing that whatever decision he makes will hurt someone he loves. Kat has already shared news of their relationship with her sister Felicity, who expressed genuine happiness for the couple, making the situation even more complicated. The cat is officially out of the bag, and there's no putting it back in. The devastating decision. Following his heartbreaking conversation with Thomas, Chad realizes he must break some very hard truths to Kat about the future of their relationship. His first priority has always been his family, and that cannot change now, regardless of his romantic feelings. Chad must tell Kat that this is simply not the right time to make their relationship public as he had originally wanted and planned. The question remains, will Kat be willing to live with a secret relationship, hiding in the shadows while Chad's family adjusts to the idea of him moving on from Abigail? Can their budding romance survive being forced underground, meeting in secret while pretending to be just friends in public? Or will this demand from Thomas ultimately destroy what could have been a genuine second chance at love for Chad? As Thursday's episode unfolds, viewers will witness Jennifer's beautiful 40-year celebration alongside the devastating reality of families struggling with grief, forgiveness, guilt, and the complicated process of moving forward after unimaginable loss. Will Thomas eventually understand that his father deserves happiness? Will JJ find the strength to continue as a police officer despite his shattered confidence? Can Chad and Kat's relationship survive being kept secret? These questions and more will keep fans absolutely riveted as Salem's drama continues to intensify.